All right, we have to find some way to hopefully bounce back here in the BBL. I think we are currently 3-3, which is rather unfortunate because one loss was due to some unfortunate luck. One loss was due to just a horrendous matchup for us, and then the third loss was, I mean, you can chalk it up to a little bit of bad luck, but then again, like if we had got some good luck, that would have been bad luck for our opponent, and then just, yeah. So hopefully, if we can win this match, we can go 4-3, and then I think if we win out the season, we should be good to make playoffs. Which, once we make playoffs, I'll get a little bit more serious when it comes to like building and stuff, because yeah, you guys already know at this point. I think I've said it in like 4 or like 7 videos. So yeah, we're taking on Luxanse. I believe is how you pronounce his name. I think it's a he. I want to say it's a he. How you pronounce his name. And channel link and stuff will be down below if you guys go ahead and check them out. And as you can see, they have a Kyogre, which kind of destroys me. So that doesn't really boost my morale going into this game. So que pasa YouTube, how's it going, guys? If you do enjoy this, hit that thumbs up button down below. I apologize that this team builder and this match are going up later this week, because the main reason was due to my WBE match being pushed back and uploaded on Monday as opposed to Sunday. So yeah, these typically, I mean, not Sunday, sorry. Yeah, it got pushed back to being uploaded on Monday, and then the team builder went up on Sunday. But the team builders usually go up on Sunday for the BBL, and then the actual battle goes up on Monday. So yeah, this should be hopefully the last time that this is uploaded so late in the week, and then we should be back on schedule for our week 8 match, which we'll worry about that when we get to it. Right now, we're going to focus on our week 7 game here and how we are going to deal with not only Kyogre but Ludicolo in the rain. Also, another kind of giant problem honestly going into this game is the fact that my opponent has a Dugtrio and Drampal. Dugtrio can trap my answers to Drampal, so that is very, very bad. I need to be super careful around the Dugtrio, because if I lose my answers to Drampal, it just comes in. If it's Specs or if it's Z or even Calm Mind, honestly, can just absolutely murder me. So yeah, Drampal low-key is kind of a threat, along with the Kyogre and the Ludicolo in the raid. Not to mention that my opponent has a Mega Gallade, which is another giant nuisance. And just, yeah, this is not a really bad matchup for us, but it's an annoying one that hopefully we can work around. So I think with that being said, let's take a look at our first team member here. I guess I can't touch on his bottom 4 mons. Togekiss, I honestly don't expect. Liepard has a really rough matchup. Fortress, I don't really know if he would want to bring Fortress, so I'm not entirely too concerned about it, as you guys will see from my team build here. And then Armaldo is just Armaldo. I guess he could bring Armaldo with like max speed to try and check our first mon here, which is going to be Mega Mewtwo Y, because in Rain, Armaldo Jolly is able to outspeed a max speed timid Mewtwo Y. So that could be a bring potentially, but I don't know if he would want to bring Armaldo, Ludicolo, and the Kyogre. I'm not sure how often he's brought them in previous games, but hopefully he doesn't decide to bring both Rain Sweepers. I guess I didn't really touch on Zapdos. Zapdos, I fully expect to come to this game. I'm honestly not really concerned about what set it's going to be. It most likely will be defensive with Roost, and then maybe Toxic, Defog, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Heat Wave, something along those lines. Like, I don't expect a sub-Roost Zapdos or like an offensive Zapdos in general, so I'm not entirely too concerned about Zapdos. That's probably the least of my concern, honestly, going into this game, along with like the Liepard, Togekiss, Fortress, and potentially the Armaldo. I was gonna say Armadillo. I feel like I said Armadillo earlier, but I really hope I said Armaldo. So yeah, if I said Armadillo, I'm sorry, but I meant Armaldo. So anyways, looking here at our first team member, we do have Mega Mewtwo Y. Now, the great thing about Mega Mewtwo Y in this match is that Side Strike plus Shadow Ball basically kind of murders everything, honestly. Like, I don't really need any other type of coverage move. The only other move I would consider putting on this Mewtwo Y is maybe Flamethrower for the Fortress, but I really don't expect it in this game. Plus, Shadow Ball should still be able to do a good chunk of damage to it, and then if I'm boosted, I really don't have anything to worry about it, honestly. So yeah, I'm not entirely that concerned about it. I believe our speed is enough to outspeed the Liepard, which I guess I could have ran enough speed for the Dugtrio, but I kind of don't expect Dugtrio, and even if it does come, it really shouldn't be that big of a problem because we have so much physical defense investment, so it should never be able to get rid of my Mewtwo Y even if it does trap me, as long as I'm able to play this correctly and keep it at a high amount of HP. So with Recover, we should be able to keep Mega Mewtwo Y decently healthy, and then with Calm Mind at +1, this kind of just destroys everything. And then if I get to +2, if nothing is faster than me, then it's basically a good game. His only real answers to this are, I guess, like Prankster Liepard, Armaldo, as I mentioned earlier, in the rain, which I don't really expect, honestly. I guess Scarf Kyogre could be a little bit annoying if he were to bring, I mean, Kyogre, honestly, in general, is just a giant problem. So if it's Calm Mind Kyogre, I at least outspeed it, and I should be able to beat a 1v1. If it's Scarfed, if I'm boosted, it's not really that much of a problem. So yeah, this Mega Mewtwo Y can definitely put in a whole lot of work in this game with Recover, Calm Mind, Side Strike, and Shadow Ball, honestly. So I'm hoping that I can bring this in, maybe find a chance to Calm Mind, and just try picking up my KOs as they come. So moving on to our next team member, we have Kaido, aka Garchomp, running a sub 3 attack set. And the nice thing about Garchomp in this match is that I can force out something like Drampal, which I fully expect to come to this game. I could potentially force out Zapdos if he thinks I may be something like Rocky MZ, so I can sub up. I can force out a Ludicolo if the rain isn't up, which is also very handy. If Kyogre is not choiced and he fears me being Z, then I can force that out and try to sub on that. I can also sub up on the Fortress, which, I mean, I don't expect Fortress, but if it does come, I can sub up on it, and then Earthquake should still be doing decent damage to it. But the nice thing about Garchomp in this match is that with Edgequake coverage, I pretty much hit everything, and then Dragonium Z is basically just a free nuke. Like, I will bet money that Togetic does not come to this game. That is how confident I am that the Togetic will not be coming to this game, which means I can just absolutely murder something with Z Outrage, and then if I'm behind a sub and I've already wasted my Z Outrage, I can just go for a regular Outrage and still do a lot of damage to everything. Another great thing about Substitute too is that if I'm behind a sub, then even if Ludicolo, Armaldo, Scarf Kyogre, even Gallade, if they come in, they have to break my sub, and they're either going to get smacked by a Z move or by one of my other offensive moves, which I think is still very beneficial, honestly. So I think we are running enough speed for the Ludicolo or the Kyogre. I want to say we're running enough speed to outspeed Timid Kyogre, because I really don't feel like he's going to bring a super fast Zapdos to this game, so we can just put our remaining 116 into Spadef, and then that way we have max attack to do as much damage as possible. This should not be Sandvale, this should be Rough Skin. So yeah, hopefully I fix that for when the actual battle comes around. But yeah, sub 3 attack Z move Garchomp honestly just pretty much destroys him. I guess I could have gone like sub SD, but I really don't think I'll be able to sub and SD, and if I had to choose between one or the other, I feel like sub is way more beneficial than Swords Dance, because even if I do SD, I kill something, but then something can come in and revenge kill me. But if I get up a sub and kill something, then whatever comes in has to KO my sub, and then I still get off a hit on them. So yeah, I figured sub is way more beneficial than Swords Dance, and it's not worth running Substitute and Swords Dance, honestly. So moving on to our next Mon here, we have Boa Hancock, aka Superior. Unfortunately, if you guys did see our previous week match here, was it? No, I might be thinking of week 5. No, I'm thinking of week 6. Yeah, week 6. We faced my boy Panther, and we missed a late game Leaf Storm. I don't think it was really game changing though, but it would have been nice just to get the KO and not have had to take the extra damage. But hopefully Superior this time around can do a little bit better, because the nice thing about Superior going into this game is that with Yache Berry, we can effectively deal with a Scarf Kyogre and Ludicolo in the rain potentially, because Leaf Storm does a really good damage to both of them. A really good amount of damage to both of them. I had to pause for a second and be like, wait a minute, what did I just say? So that's very beneficial. Of course, Drampal can pretty much shut down my Superior set, but that is actually why we have not only Dragon Pulse, but we also have Toxic, so I can Toxic it on the switch in, and then from there on I can just Dragon Pulse it if I do expect it to come in, or if I am able to get to +2, then +2 Dragon Pulse still does a really good chunk of damage to the Drampal, and then we have Hidden Power Ice to be able to do some type of super effective damage to the not the Necrozma, the Zapdos. Why is this at level 100? I think I had to do that for the Z move. I think we are running enough speed to outspeed Mega Gallade in case he does want to bring max speed Mega Gallade. Although I guess he doesn't necessarily need to run max speed, probably just enough speed for the Pyro, which I mean really isn't that much off of max speed. Either way though, we can outspeed Gallade, potentially KO that with Yache Berry. We should be able to lure in the Kyogre, and we can also potentially lure in the Ludicolo, which would be really nice. And then from there, if I am able to get boosted, I can just try to take down any Mons in this scenario that I am going to try to get myself into, because I don't expect Superior to sweep, but I do hope that it can pick up at least 2 KOs. If it gets 1 KO and maybe weakens something else, that's perfectly fine with me, but 2 KOs is what I'm trying to aim to get with the Superior. That way we punch a little bit of a hole that we can take advantage of. So yeah, hoping that Superior here can redeem herself in this week's match. So moving on to our next team member is basically our best quote-unquote answer to Kyogre, and I say answer very, very loosely because Kyogre has no real good answer. It comes in, its coverage isn't. I do not think Kyogre should ever be allowed in any draft league. That in like Arceus normal should never be allowed in even an Uber's draft league. Like switching into Kyogre is such a problem because of its insane coverage. Specs Water Spout murders even Pokemon that resist Water Spouts. So yeah, I'm really terrified of Kyogre. Like if it's Calm Mind, that's a giant problem honestly, but I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, he brings like Specs or he brings Scarf, and then that'll make it a little bit easier to deal with. So with max defense and max Spadef and max HP Assault Vest, we should be able to live any 2 hits after Stealth Rocks, and then maybe try to get off some damage with Play Rough into Aqua Jet, or maybe get rid of an item with Knockoff if for whatever reason he doesn't bring Kyogre. I don't know why he wouldn't bring Kyogre, but if he doesn't, then I guess this can function to try and help against the Drampal and the Zapdos potentially, but there should be no realm, world, or universe where he doesn't bring Kyogre. So I'm hoping that he won't be expecting this, and that this can pivot in at least once, maybe do some damage, and then from there, after I've gotten off a hit on Kyogre and I figured out what set it's running, or if I'm able to get rid of its item, then it should be a lot easier for us to deal with, and I won't be as terrified of it honestly. So yeah, I don't expect Azumarill to switch in more than once against the Kyogre by any means, but just that one switch in can be very, very helpful to us in this match. So yeah, Dual Stab with Aqua Jet and Knockoff is just here to dent or do whatever kind of damage I can to the Kyogre if I am able to. So yeah, Azumarill is going to have to be the sacrificial lamb in this game to Kyogre, but hopefully it will not go to waste. So moving on to our next team member, is going to be a pretty interesting set. We have Swift Swim and Quillfish. Now, this is really cool because, again, I 100% expect Kyogre to come to this game. So in a sense, we can take advantage of his reign with this Quillfish set. And I believe that with this speed investment, we're able to outrun Ludicolo if it's running timid max speed, which also means that we should then be able to outspeed the entirety of his team. I think we may also outspeed Scarf Kyogre. I'm not sure. I have to double check my math. But just the fact that we're able to outspeed everything and abuse his rain against him could be very good for us. The fact that we have Rain Dance as well also means that I can get up my own rain later in the match, and then Qwilfish could potentially sweep, which would actually be really cool. I've never seen a Swift Swim Qwilfish actually sweep, but there is a good chance that our Qwilfish could be able to do that. So we have Dual Stab, and then we have Explosion. The main reason I have Explosion is because it does so much ridiculous damage to the Drampa, and most importantly to the Zapdos, because everything else is basically hit by Poison Jab and or Liquidation, and in the rain, Liquidation is still smacking things like the Mega Gallade, the Liepard, and also the Fortress. So Explosion is just there in case he does have a very fat Drampa or fat Zapdos and he doesn't expect me to explode, so I can get off a huge hit on them and then be able to revenge kill them a whole lot easier. So much like Azumarill, I don't expect Qwilfish to sweep, but I'm hoping that it will be able to do a little bit of damage to his team that we can take advantage of with the rest of our team in this game. So yeah, if anything, being able to nuke the Kyogre would be absolutely amazing, because again, that thing is so terrifying. So at this point, I really had no idea what I wanted my last mon to be. Unfortunately, Electrode's matchup is really not that good. Its coverage doesn't really help me that much, and it just does not do enough damage either. While the speed is really nice, it's not hitting that hard. Even if I went like a fat toxic subset, maybe it wouldn't be entirely too useful. So I figured that because I still technically need a rocker, I might as well just go with Capone Veggie here, aka Registeel, and we're gonna kind of try and take the same route that we took in week 6, where we are running dual status Registeel, because honestly this still looks really good in this game. If he is not sub Mega Gallade, I paralyze it. If he's not sub Zapdos, which I don't expect whatsoever, I toxic it. I can paralyze the Ludicolo, I can toxic or paralyze Drampa, I can paralyze the Armaldo if I live a hit from Kyogre and I expect it to potentially be choice in some way. I can Thunder Wave it if it's defensive Kyogre, as long as it's not sub. I can toxic it. So yeah, there is just so much that dual status Registeel can honestly do in this game. So I figured that it was probably our best bet as our last mon. And then with that, we do have Stealth Rocks, just because getting off any type of chip damage is going to be really nice to be able to deal that extra little bit of damage that we need for potentially our Garchomp, our Mewtwo, or our Qwilfish to pick up KOs and 2-hit KOs. And then Seismitoss is just so free against the entirety of his team that I really didn't feel the need to run any other type of move, because with Toxic and Seismitoss, I'm still doing a lot of damage to a majority of his team. His team could get paralyzed if I Thunder Wave them, and then that's just more damage with Seismitoss. So yeah, S-Toss just very spammable in this match. So yeah guys, that is going to be our squad here for week number 7. Hopefully we can win and we can pull our record up from 3-3 to 4-3, and then the rest of our season will go smoothly. But for right now, let's try and focus on this game and try to pull out a victory here. So if y'all did enjoy, hit that thumbs up button down below. I will see you all tomorrow with the actual battle itself. So later, everybody.
Because my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.